group though.
No? Short little piece.
So, pistachio. I thought they were pistachios. Pistachio. They're good for you. Not too much. Are they salted or unsalted?
Lightly roasted. And they come, Whole Foods sells them in the small bags.
$42.
So part of what I know.
Yeah.
So part of what I eat is I can have a bag between meals. But I'm kind of hungry.
Speaking to the microphone today because everybody's been complaining.
That's always.
There you go.
You ready?
Oh, you saw Mary.
Taqueria.
Yes.
Is it? The kids love the tacos. They're good.
How was the meeting?
Yay? No?
Are you going to speak?
Looks good.
The whole thing?
How many
Where are we at?
How many we got?
Huh? Chief, 3, right?
Ready?
Each? Are you working today? No. Where's the party?
I'm so sorry.
The Morristown Conference Center. Please enter your conference bridge number, followed.
Columbia or something?
Please enter your access.
Councilman Silva, are you there? Councilman Silva, are you there?
Yes, good evening all. Good evening, Margot. Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great. Sorry about the delay. We're getting started shortly.
Okay, perfect.
Ready? Are we ready now? Yeah.
I don't know.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Morristown Town Council meeting. Today is October 10th, 2023. And Margot, please take it away.
I, Margot G.K., Town Clerk of the Town of Morristown, do hereby state that it is 7:35 p.m. on Tuesday, October 10th, 2023, and that this regular hybrid meeting is being held via webinar and in person. Both adequate and electronic notice of this meeting were provided according to law by written notice to the Morristown Daily Record, the official newspaper of the Town of Morristown, and to the Newark Star Ledger, both more than 48 hours ago. Notice was also posted in Town Hall and on the town website and filed with the office of the Town Clerk of the Town of Morristown. I do further state that I shall enter into the minutes of this meeting a statement that such notice was furnished as particularly described by me in this public announcement. I will take a roll call. Councilman Armington.
Here.
Councilwoman Cotton.
Present.
Councilman Foster is excused. Councilman Iannacone.
Here.
Councilman Silva.
Present.
Councilman Umbriac.
Here.
Council President Mayor.
Here.
Madam Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Appreciate it. Before we move into a moment of silence, I'm just going to ask everybody to remember the victims of the war that's happening in Israel right now and around the world, also in Ukraine, and just hold everybody dear in your hearts, and hopefully we could all have peace one day. And we'll ask for a moment of silence. Thank you. If everybody could rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Before we get started, please be aware that public comment during the public hearing portions, of this meeting will be held both in person and through the Zoom app. At the appropriate time, members of the public wishing to speak should indicate so by raising his or her hand in chambers or in the app. To comment via Zoom, click on the Raise Your Hand icon at the bottom left side of your screen. You may also raise your hand by pressing *9 on your phone. When it is your turn, I will send you a signal through the app and ask that you unmute yourself so that you may be heard. To unmute yourself on the phone, press *6. Okay, I have been instructed to move the swearing in of our new police officers to the next item on the agenda. So if Officer Huertas would like to step forward.
Somebody want to do speeches first?
Margot, can you hold on a second because you can't hear the speakers, so I'm going to try to adjust the speakers.
Okay.
Let's go into the piano case, see what's going on.
You know how to turn the speakers up? So just test. Just turn it up just slightly. Test, 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 test. Is that better in the back? Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay.
Okay.
You sue for the lead.
1 second.
Oh, sure. Oh, you're going to talk.
Excuse me, everyone, just
Getting on track.
promise, 30 seconds. Michael Corcoran, Director of Public Safety from Morristown. I just want to thank the mayor, Ms. Barrick, members of council, for your support. Obviously, we know we're in a very dangerous world these days, and public safety is always going to be paramount. We're very proud to welcome 3 new officers. They've been here a little while, but to formally swear them in tonight, Officer Hector Huertas, Officer Victor Salazar, and Officer Joseph Winter. We're very proud of all of them, the work that they're doing out there every day. And to get into their bios, I'm going to introduce the finest police chief anywhere, Chief Darnell Richardson.
There you go.
Good evening.
Officer Hector Huertas was born and raised in the town of Morristown. He joined the Morristown Bureau of Police after graduating from the 100th class of the Morris County Public Safety Academy. He graduated from Morristown High School in 2015. He is currently working on his associate's degree. He is a bilingual officer, English and Spanish. Prior to joining this department, he worked for Human Resources at a law firm. He was an active volunteer with the Morristown Fire Department. Hector is looking forward to helping the community and build a strong relationship with Hector is looking forward to helping the department build a stronger relationship with the community and protecting the streets of Morristown. I present Hector Huertas.
Hold that.
Right hand, right?
Nope. If you could please put your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand, and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Hector Huertas,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and the allegiance to the same
and to the governments
and to the governments
established in the United States established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
and perform all the duties
of the office of police officer,
in the office of police
the
officer
Morristown Bureau of Police,
for the
for the Morristown Bureau of
for the Morristown Bureau of Police
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
All right.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Officer Victor Salazar. Officer Salazar, a native of Morristown, joined the Morristown Bureau of Police after graduating from the 100th class of the Morris County Public Safety Academy. Growing up in Manor Village in Morristown, Victor witnessed the effects of the crimes on the community and was inspired to protect and serve. He is the son of 2 immigrants. Victor knew he wanted to be the voice of the community, voice of the Hispanic community as a police officer. Prior to joining the department, Victor worked for the Department of Public Works in Morristown. He holds a bachelor's degree in criminal justice and a minor in psychology from Rutgers University. His hobbies include cooking, running, working out, and experience different types of food from other cultures and countries. Victor is looking forward to helping the department build a strong relationship within the community and protecting the streets of Morristown. Victor Salazar.
Okay, if you could please place your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand, and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Victor Salazar,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established
and to the government established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of the office of police officer
of the office of police officer
for the Morristown Bureau of Police
for the Morristown Bureau of Police
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Officer Joseph Winters. Officer Winters graduated from the Morris County Public Safety Academy, 100th basic class in August of, and was hired by the department in August of 2023. Officer Winters graduated from Fairleigh Dickinson University with a bachelor's degree in arts in filming and animation. Prior to working for the Morristown Bureau of Police, he worked with the Somerset County Sheriff's Department as a corrections officer and at the Morris County Public Safety, Morris County Civil Authority as a telecommunications officer. His hobbies include working out, running, snowboarding, mountain biking, and hiking. Officer Joseph Winters.
All right, please place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Joseph Winter,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same
and to the governments
and to the governments
established in the United States
established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of the office of police officer
of the office of police officer
for the Morristown Bureau of Police
for the Morristown Bureau of Police
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You gonna give him a minute?
What?
I think we ran out.
We're going to go to consent agenda,
Oh.
if you don't mind.
I certainly do not.
Okay, let's go with consent agenda. on the
Okay.
agenda.
There's one item on the consent agenda. Do any members of council have any questions or comments? With that, I would ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I will second.
Councilman Armington?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cotton?
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Councilman Umbreak?
Yes.
Council President, Mayor?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, at this time, I will open the floor for a public hearing on any matter. For remote members of the public, please raise your hand in the Zoom app to indicate that you would like to speak. If you've joined the meeting via telephone, press star 9. Kindly state your name and address and limit your comments to 5 minutes or less. Be advised that any derogatory comments targeting members of council and/or administration may be ruled out of order.
Thank you. We'll start with Mr. Byrne in the back, and then we'll work our way forward. Just makes it easier. Billy? Billy Byrne, you want to come up?
Billy.
Oh, Pierce, come on up, Pierce.
My name is, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
My name is Bierce Riley, B-I-E-R-C-E, Riley, R-I-L-E-Y. I live at 19 Bud Street in Morristown. And I started out with a comment of, wouldn't it be nice if you all used the microphones that the taxpayers are paying for? Because I see this in Mendham Township all the time. They're way back here. The microphones are nowhere near their mouths. But I have an issue. I believe this is Public Works who did this. I have two pin oaks in front of my house. And they're there because there was a maple tree, a sugar maple, which is not a native species here, and it died due to salt damage. When I moved here, it was a real selling point because it was absolutely beautiful. But over the years, I've been here 45 years, and it slowly died. So I had the town take it down. What I didn't want was one of those Bradford pears. They are messy, they're inappropriate, it's just the wrong thing for street trees. And these two pin oaks came up in my backyard, and I moved them out front. I pruned them on an annual basis, sometimes a couple times in the summer, to make sure my neighbors could see coming out their driveway, and to keep, as it got bigger, the lower branches were going, whoop, and to keep them 7 feet off the curb, off the sidewalk level. I didn't want anybody to get hurt. This summer, I had COVID starting the 6th of July, and I had no energy, and I didn't prune it at all. It was hanging low, but I never saw anybody moving it out of the way. However, one Friday a couple weeks ago, I keep weird hours. And I woke up and I thought I heard some kind of machine going, but the windows were closed because it was a little chilly. And it turned out that the town pruned it for me. I would basically call an amputation. It is horrible. The limbs are cut 15 feet up. It's absolutely hideous. I sent an email to Kristen Ace and Sandy, my council person, and I sent it to the mayor, but it came back. I came back 4 times and said it couldn't send it, using the address on the town website. So anyway, so Kristen said this was totally inappropriate pruning. And with this species, the lower branches tend to arc downward, the middle branches go out, and the upper branches go up. And that's exactly how it was growing. It now starts out going way up there. It looks like a Christmas tree lollipop. It looks absolutely hideous. Excuse me, I have trouble reading. Perhaps this was a parting shot by somebody who worked for Public Works who played with a chainsaw. I'm not sure. I didn't see them do it, but my neighbors all assured me it was Public Works.
Ms. Riley, you have 30 seconds left.
Excuse me?
You have 30 seconds left.
Oh. Okay. And I have one more item, and that is, we'll call the hedge from Hello, that is next door to me. It is up to my shoulder level, and it comes out over the sidewalk. It blocks about at least a foot, more like 18 inches of public sidewalk. It is planted on top of, behind a wall that's about 12 to 18 inches high. And it's a rental property. The person who owns it, I brought this before the council about 5 to 7 years ago, and they were told that they had to prune it no higher than 2 feet.
Your time is up, Ms. Riley.
And it has grown and grown. They'll prune it, and they'll kind of start
Council
to come
President, the speaker's
downhill.
time has elapsed.
And
Excuse me, Ms.
then it
Riley.
goes back up again.
Your time's elapsed, but I was out there so I could address it. I was at your house last week, so I could address this for you. So thank you for coming up.
All right. That is that number. The hedge from Hello is at
Your time is up, ma'am.
Yeah.
number 17 Bud Street.
I have it. Thank you. Billy, why don't you come up first?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Bill Byrne, and I live at 100 Franklin Street. I was taking a friend of mine up to the pantry to get food, and I was walking on Sussex Turnpike on the sidewalk on the St. Margaret side as you're going down Sussex Turnpike. Okay, this sidewalk where I fell, okay, I'm not the first one that fell. There's other people that fell there, and the people that work or volunteer at the food store, they called the town about it, and still it hasn't been fixed. I took a fall, and I was walking slow, and I was paying attention on the ground and looking, and there's this bad sidewalk, okay? The town has not done anything about it, and somebody did call the town, I don't know who they talked to, and the sidewalk is still there, and I think it should be barricaded or combed up. until it gets fixed, because I took a fall. Now, thank God nothing was broken, but because I fell in a push-up position, okay, and I blocked myself from getting seriously injured. I could have knocked out my teeth if I would have went flat on my chest. I could have knocked out all 3 teeth, and I would have to go to the dentist. And so, what is it going to take? Is it going to take somebody else to get hurt? Is it going to take a senior citizen could be walking down there and get serious or hurt? That sidewalk has to be blocked. It has to be barricaded, until it gets fixed, because we're going to have accident after accident, and I don't think the town of Morristown would want a lawsuit on their hands, because if it doesn't get fixed, that's what may happen. So I don't know if it's a state's responsibility or a county's responsibility. If it's the state's responsibility, then somebody better call up the DOT or give me the number, and I'll call them up, and I'll keep on calling them up and saying, you got to fix this thing. So until this thing is fixed, I think it should be barricaded, where people can't walk down that side, because it's just a matter that somebody's going to get hurt, somebody may get killed. So thank you, that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Billy.
Bill?
Would you like to come up? Go ahead, ma'am, on the aisle in the back. You. What are your name?
Hello. Good evening. It's the first time I ever did this. First, I want to congratulate all the new
You have to
police
state
officers.
your name and address, please.
Oh, Roberta Montemurno. I live at 320.
Can you please spell your last name?
Montemurno.
Thank you.
I live at Parsons Village at 320 South Street. I just want to congratulate all the new police officers. I'm very happy that we have new or gentlemen that are willing, and women, I assume too, that are willing to do, I assume, the most difficult job there is. So I'm one of those people that believes in funding the police, so congratulations to them. I have a concern about what I read in the paper that I was not aware of, that there are going to be new buildings or proposed buildings at 55, 95 Madison Avenue and 310 South Street and 435 South Street. And I assume these are all medical buildings already. I don't know if the town is thinking of demolishing them, or I'm really not clear about what's going on. But I taught in the Morris School District for over 40 years, and I thought I was going to have a quiet retirement. So if you're talking about 15 or 20 years worth of construction, I don't think I'm going to live that long. I also very disturbed that there were people eliminated from talking about, why would anybody be opposed to talking about it and including everyone who should be there, I believe. They're giving up their time to be on the council. Every single person should be allowed to attend these meetings. But, so where are we with this? How are you moving ahead? Can you give me some clue as to how you're going to proceed with this project? And another question would be, I was driving around today, and I was looking at 435 South Street, and I drove in the back there, and I said, well, there's quite a bit of land there to build, rather than holding up all the traffic, which is very, very busy most mornings, afternoons, and evenings. So where else did I look? I looked at 140 and 150 Park Avenue, where the Summit Medical Buildings are, and there seems like there's land there that wouldn't disturb all the residents from Turtle Road to 287. Giralda Farms, seems like an awful lot of land there. I've took an elderly friend of mine to an assisted living in there, and seems like there's an expansion, a large amount of land that could be used for future development. So, again, where are we with this? And can the residents be part of this decision-making? Or I'm not really exactly sure how this works. But I would like to be kept in the loop as my neighbors at Parsons Village, Convent Mews, and all of the residents, the quiet bedroom community along Turtle Road. So can anybody answer that or give me a little bit of a hint about what's going on? Or
The questions get answered at the end once we close public comments. So
I beg your pardon?
we don't answer questions right away. Once we close public comments, then the council will respond to all questions.
I see. Okay, well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sure, come on up.
Good evening, council members, mayor. My name is Rick Bernabe, Bernabe. Could I give you some handouts that you don't need to review now?
You can give them to the clerk.
Thank you.
Okay.
And what is your address, sir?
Excuse me?
Your address, sir?
My address is 320 South Street
Thank you.
in Parsons Village. You're welcome. I too found out about what's happening, or what's supposedly happening, with Atlantic Health Systems and Madison Avenue by reading the articles written by Kevin Coughlin of the Morristown Green. My opinion, in reading these articles, it gives me the appearance or the perception of meetings being held behind closed doors or clandestine meetings between the town and Atlantic Health Systems. Just the flavor of this article or articles is disturbing to me and could be considered as unethical. I know it's an important role that the mayor and council have on making decisions as something as important as this and other things. But without listening and taking in consideration all the comments, approvals or disapprovals of the residents affected by this would be disrespectful. What Atlantic Health is proposing on a street such as Madison Avenue, in my opinion, is outrageous and insane. They are looking to build an empire or campus such as Summit Health has in Florham Park and in Berkeley Heights. As the speaker before me mentioned, there are open lands in other places. But I'm sure Morristown is looking for one thing, the almighty buck and the revenue to be brought here instead of another area. Madison Avenue is no place for an 11-story tower, 11 new 5- and 6-story buildings with a hotel. It's ridiculous. It's insane. Are we looking to make it another downtown Manhattan, New York? Have we done a vehicular and pedestrian traffic study? Was this performed? My thoughts and the thoughts of many others are there is no way that Madison Avenue can handle such an increase in vehicle and pedestrian traffic, especially for the next 15 to 20 years, which again is ludicrous and insane. 15 to 20 years? The Twin Towers were built in 6 years. What are they going to do for 15 to 20 years? The article indicates that Councilman Stephen Armington was among those briefed by Atlantic Health in recent weeks. Now, Armington also serves on the planning board. Is that not a conflict of interest? Again, has anyone heard of a project taking 15 years to 20 years to complete? Parsons Village has 188 units on the site there, probably around 500 residents, ranging from infants to those in their 90s. What is being proposed will devaluize our property. We can't allow this to happen. We won't allow this to happen. Are you aware of the harmful and deadly and carcinogen toxins that would be released in the air from this commercial building and construction? That's what is all outlined in the handouts I gave you.
Mr. Bermavi, your time is just about up, so if you could
All
please
right,
finish your thoughts.
was it right? Let's see, I'll try to clean this up quick. The bottom line is, any common sense person would know that a project this size does not belong in Madison, on Madison Avenue in the town of Morristown. There's probably around 500 people in Parsons Village, and I can guarantee you that's 500 less votes you will get when you run again for office, because I really think this whole matter stinks to high hell. Time is up?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming out.
Hi, everybody. I'm Charlotte Gabriel, address 320 South Street. Can you hear me?
I'm sorry, ma'am, what is your first name?
Charlotte.
Thank you.
Gabriel. I'm the president of Parsons Village. Last meeting I was here, and I asked you if this was going to be a redevelopment plan or a rezoning plan, and the answer was, oh, there's no official plan, we don't really know. Okay, we know that's not true. Morristown Hospital would not spend tens and tens and tens of millions of dollars if there wasn't some sort of implicit agreement. Come on. So anyway, I have some questions, I have some thoughts. Hopefully, be quick. Selling the buildings at 310 South Street, 95 Madison, 55 Madison. Okay, they're already bought by either Atlantic Health, Morristown Hospital. Those buildings were commercial office buildings. They produced tax dollars for all of us. Those tax dollars are gone now. We don't know what Morristown Hospital is going to pay. In 2015, the hospital finally agreed to a lump sum to be paid to the town for taxes. It's going to take 10 years. They're not even paid off yet. But they only agreed after we took them to court. Morristown, not Parsons Village. I don't even know about the legal fees, but they did not step forward like a good neighbor and said, oh, of course we're going to pay something. Yes, we're a hospital, but we use lots and lots of resources, lots of traffic, lots of road deterioration. We will pay. No, we had to take them to court. The hospital is not our friend. They're a great conglomerate. They view Morristown as a launching pad for a huge medical complex. And what will 20 years of construction sound like? Close your eyes. Imagine large amounts of concrete being broken up, the sound of jackhammers, nail guns, backhoes, concrete pulverizers, hydraulic breakers, hydraulic hammers, the clouds of dust and soot, all where some people live 250 feet away. Life's going to be pretty unbearable. Now, the hospital says this is all important, it's all necessary. But is it? Much larger hospitals, much more prestigious hospitals, Sloan Kettering, they don't have all that land, but they're clever, they think, they have annexes, they have offices in many different spots. They seem to do okay. So I just ask you, I ask all of you, paying your taxes, is this what you want?
No. Order.
And the
Council
mayor.
President, speaker's out of order. You have to address the chair.
Okay,
The council
please don't
president.
turn around.
Very sorry.
Sorry.
I wouldn't want to be
There are
out of
some
order.
rules.
Mr. Mayor, I'm asking you, being the mayor of a city that has a huge medical complex, that's very prestigious. But you know what is also prestigious? To take care of a town that's a walkable city with a lovely sky that people love. That's also very prestigious. I just urge the town council to think of all this and give us some answers and work with us to make this, Morristown Hospital is going to go forward. Let's work together. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure. Going over here first.
Hi, you're going to have fun with my name. Deborah Ryslainen. It's RYYSYLAINEN.
N-E-N. And how do you spell your first name?
DEBORAH.
Okay, thank you.
And
your address?
Parsons Village.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. So I agree with everything, obviously, that my neighbours have said, but what the issue I wanted to address today was really to reiterate the concern around the secrecy and the lack of transparency and the fact that we're finding out from the press, from rumour, from innuendo, from who knows what, about what might be happening, when it might be happening. I want to know whether the dubious decision to exclude our representatives at a very early stage, where we keep being told there is no plan, but people know something, there should be a right for us to know what those something are. But so has council actually discussed this? Have you taken any position on whether the decision that you took this time is actually going to be the precedent for any other decisions that go forward in the future? And I also just really wanted to point out that I can go on a website and find out who's meeting with my president, but I don't know who is meeting with my mayor. And I wanted to suggest that maybe council would adopt, in the interest of transparency, perhaps like a section of the website where we can see actually who's meeting who, why they're meeting, what the subject matter might be. I just think that would be very helpful in restoring faith in this particular council. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Leslie Allen. My address is 320 South Street, and I come to you tonight on two fronts. One, as a local realtor who has bought and sold in Parson, and also as well as a resident of Parsons Village. And I think, for me, I'd want to know, when we were here the last time, you said nothing, no application has been done. There's nothing that's really happened. So I wanted to know if an application is going to be put in, what then is the process for the public to understand or explain their concerns about zoning. And one of the things that I'm most concerned about is the property setbacks, because right now the buildings are far from Parsons Village. But if it's anything like they did on Randolph, and they put the parking structure 0 lot line, is that a possibility for Parsons Village, that literally the parking structure would be where that wall is, where some people's bedrooms would be right here, because that's how close we are to the property line. So it would be helpful if we understood when an application is made, it goes to the zoning board or whomever, or the environmental study is done, because that would give us some understanding of when we could voice whatever the appropriate support or disagreement about something is. And also I wanted to know, what is the resolution for our representatives? I understood when there was no application, they were excluded, but if an application is made, will they then also be excluded from all of the discussion? I can understand not voting, but at least to be informed, or will they continue to be left out and uninformed? And so that is just really my main concern, because obviously how close you build to Parsons creates or eliminates some of the value that the property now has. And with the growth of something like the hospital, it's sort of unfair for the neighbors to be devalued and for their lifestyle to be interrupted so much because it's already encroaching with all of the traffic. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure, and then you go next, Tina.
Hi, my name is Amanda Bowser, and I'm the co-owner of the Learning Express store in Morristown. In a previous meeting, we discussed changing the ordinance to allow retail use of their sidewalks in the form of sidewalk sales. I wanted to update you that 20 retail establishments in town are on board with an update to the ordinance and feel their businesses would benefit from using their sidewalks in a tasteful manner, showcasing products and attracting new customers in store. As we work on rewriting the ordinance, we want to have a trial sidewalk sale period during the months of November and December. These 2 months of the year are by far the most important in retail sales, representing about 30 to 35% of the overall sales year. These months also fuel businesses into the new year through slower months, but allowing us to have the cash flow to pay rent, payroll, and overhead in the first quarter. While November and December are not ordinarily months you might see sidewalk sales due to cooling temperatures, we believe it is important for each establishment to decide which days within these months mean the most for them. For example, being in the toy industry, we are encouraging customers to shop as early as possible, utilizing the first week of November for big promotions. Likewise, other establishments in town are gearing up for Thanksgiving weekend, which includes Black Friday and Small Business Saturday. I would like to encourage the town council and town hall to support retail members in town during the upcoming busy months by allowing this trial period. I would also like to thank the partnership for their ongoing commitment to all of the businesses in town, especially the gift certificate program during this busy holiday season. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. My name is Tina Lindsay. I am a commissioner on the Housing Board. I am
What's your address, please?
2203 Clyde Park Drive, but right now I'm located in the hotel because they're doing remodeling to the apartments, which is beautiful. My concern is that, and the residents is concerned that with the article that came out in the papers, that Councilwoman Cotton stressed it, and I wanted to let the resident know that they don't have to be afraid down there. That we have law enforcement that we do call. And as I was talking to the residents, and I'm down there practically every day, I'm doing wellness check. They actually told me they didn't even know who Councilman Cotton were. From up on the top of the hill to the court, I tried to explain that she was councilwoman. They said, we don't know who she is. So my thing is that if they're going to put something in the paper, make sure it's right. Make sure it's right. Make sure you come down there and find out what's going on. We do have things, issues down there that we need to correct, but it's not as bad. I'm telling the residents are very happy that we're getting, it's been a long time coming, that we are getting things done down there. And we're not at the point that we need to be, but we're getting there. And for as the dogs, we do have an issue with dogs, but only thing we ask the resident is to clean up behind their dogs, because we do have kids that play down there. And the mayor is down there, he can contest that. He comes down there, Councilwoman Forster, when she was well, we called her down when we had issues, major issues. So I just wanted to clarify that the resident do not have to be afraid, or maybe Councilwoman Cotton, she lives there, I live there, maybe you're afraid. But these residents are telling me they are not afraid. So that's what I needed to put out there. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lindsay. Sure.
Good evening. My name is Richard Gabriel. I live at 320 South Street in Parsons Village. I share all the concerns of my neighbors. I just wanted to make one point and ask two questions. The point which I wanted to make is that, as somebody previously said, it's all about the buck. The only advantage this development would bring is allegedly taxes. But you're taking out 5 or 6 tax-paying businesses, which presumably pay a lot of money to the town. Morristown Hospital has not exhibited a great desire to pay a lot of taxes. The mayor had to bring him to court. Finally, they got a settlement. Who knows what they're going to end up paying? Right now, what they pay is approximately, on an ongoing basis, $1 million a year in taxes. Parsons Village pays $900,000. It's not a very generous payment by the hospital, which uses a lot more resources. So there's nothing there's nothing that this redevelopment is going to give the town other than possibly taxes, and I don't even see that benefit as being a great benefit. That's the observation. That's in addition to all the other disadvantages like drainage, like traffic, like construction for 20 years. The two questions are these. These buildings that Morristown Hospital has bought, or Atlantic Health has bought, have been very, very expensive. They're profitable businesses. They're fully leased as far as I can see. So I don't know how much the hospital has paid for them, but it's certainly tens of millions of dollars. Maybe $100 million, maybe $200 million. It doesn't seem to me that something like Morristown Hospital is doing this on spec. If they went out and they spent this money, have any assurances been made to them? Some of you have had meetings with them. Have you asked them? Have you heard any assurances made? It just doesn't seem conceivable to me that promises weren't made or a wink and a nod wasn't made and said, look, you know, you've got to go through a public process, but don't worry about it. It's going to happen. And obviously, our representative wasn't at these meetings. If there were any representatives at these meetings, was anything along those lines discussed? And if it was discussed, did anybody ask Morristown Hospital, well, what are you going to do if this rezoning plan doesn't go through? What's going to happen to these buildings then? So those are questions, I think, which those people who have access to Morristown Hospital and its representatives should be asking. And I'd like to know, were any assurances made or mentioned at these meetings? So that's the first question. The second question is, I'd like somebody to explain what the role is of the town planner. When I hear of a town planner, it seems to me somebody that's working for the town, looking out for the interests of the town, seeing what development would be best for the town. My understanding is the town planner is a gentleman named Phil Abramson and a company called Topology. I went on their website. They list 7 or 8 projects in the last 7 or 8 years that they have been involved in the development of. I don't know what that means, but for example, and this is the same kind of thing that's said by them with all their projects, they were talking about the M Station project. They said, as town planners for Morristown, Topology oversaw all planning aspects of the project, including drafting the redevelopment plan, providing representation to the town board, making numerous representations to the town board and public. Topology provides advisory support in public space design, building something, it's handwritten, roundabout design, and other subjects. So who pays the town planner? Do they get any compensation from these developments? Do they get any of their design services or representation to the board paid for by the developers as opposed to the town? Or is there compensation exclusively from the town? Somebody mentioned the conflict of interest before, but that would certainly seem to me to be a conflict of interest where they're representing the town and supposed to be looking out for the town, and where are their fees coming from? So those two questions I would like to have answered. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Gabriel. Is there anybody else in chambers that would like to come up and speak? No? Margot, is there anybody on Zoom?
We
Thank
do
you.
have 2. Joanne Corbo, if you could please unmute yourself. State your name. Yes, please state your name and address.
Okay, Joanne Corbo in Parsons Village, and thank you for hearing me. I would like to reiterate what my neighbors and friends have just said, all of us living in a community that we very much love. I would like to ask a question similar to the others, and I would like to know if the town council members who were present at these secret meetings, along with the mayor who was present at the secret meetings, would be willing to come forward before any application is set forth, because we've been told, oh, there's no application, don't worry. I want to hear and I want to see these people say to me and my neighbors that there is no done deal already, because they were involved in the secret meetings. Oh, don't worry. This is our community. This is where we live. And this is not affecting, like other construction projects anywhere in the country, 1 or 2 households. This is hundreds of residents of Morristown. So do the council members and the mayor care about the residents of Morristown? Or are they just going to do whatever they want? And why can't Morristown Hospital or Medical Center go through the process of the variances? Why does the whole thing have to be rezoned so that they can just do whatever they want? And forget about Parsons Village, which I don't really want you to do, but I don't think the council is thinking, and not every member of the council, but many of them, are thinking about what this is going to do to Morristown in general. It's going to increase the traffic. You won't be able to get on and off 287, let alone us getting in and out of our village in Parsons Village. But it's going to increase the traffic all along South Street, Madison Avenue. Nobody's going to want to come here to see the amenities of Morristown, the restaurants, the theaters, because it's going to be a traffic nightmare. And this is not a place where people are going to be able to take public transportation to. I would like answers, and I would like, before any application is made, well before that happens, and we're just being pushed off, for the mayor and the council members who were at the secret meetings to come forth in front of the residents and say, oh, we can honestly say we didn't make any secret deals. I want that to happen, and I think a lot of my neighbors do. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Corbett.
Okay, Angelique Scholl, are you there? If you can, please unmute yourself. State your name and address for the record.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, my name is Angelique Shaw. I live at 6 F Dorado Drive. I am the president of the Convent News HOA. I believe most of my board is present on Zoom as well. We're all traveling for work and unable to attend in person. So I just want to echo the sentiments. I don't want to take up too much of everybody's time. But Charlotte hit a very good point. It has not been a good relationship with the hospital to date or the medical buildings. They don't keep their grass maintained. We had to use the lawyers, get them to cut down trees. We don't want to expand this relationship. I also would like to reiterate what everyone has said. This whole process has lacked transparency. And I can say that I received a lot of feedback. We have 130 units in Convent News, and no one is in favor of this. And everybody is very upset, asking me why I didn't share the information. And I said I can't because the town council and the mayor didn't share the information, and we have to get it through backdoor sources. And that's just very, very inappropriate. I would also, any question of a blanket zoning variance is very inappropriate. All the other issues, the duration of the construction. I work in the construction industry. 15 to 20 years is absurd. The traffic is going to it takes 20 minutes to turn left from Turtle onto the Mountain right now. So again, I don't want to take up everybody's time, but I do want to say that I am representing 130 units and saying that we are not in favor of this, and we're very disappointed in the lack of transparency.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Shaw. Is anybody else, Marta?
1 second, please. I'm sorry. Mr. Kent, can you hear me? Did you have your hand up?
Yep.
Okay. Please state your name and address for the record.
This is Stephen Kent, K-E-N-T, and I live at 175 Moore Street. And I want to speak again about cyclist safety concerns, and I also want to respond to what Councilman Armington said during the last meeting. He said something along the lines of the town or the state and the county owns a lot of our roads, and I do understand that. But I look around and I bike around and I see roads like Elm Street, Pine Street, Early Street, Maple Avenue, just to name a few. And on those streets and other small streets that are entirely within our borders, there are no accommodations for bicycles. We get, at best, sharrows, which do not work. Our towns are built by the town to serve the public, our roads are built by the town to serve the public, but they are overwhelmingly used for the transport and storage of privately owned vehicles. Cars get 2 travel lanes and parking in each direction, and cyclists just get nothing but sharrows and a reminder, and we're just asking drivers to play nice. Sharrows don't stop me from getting clipped or run over. They don't stop drivers from passing very close, from making obscene gestures, screaming at me. It doesn't stop any of that. I don't want to be on the road with cars. Cars don't want me on the road with them, but it seems I'm forced into that position. You wouldn't really want to put your, teenage child or your grandparent on a road if they were going to be forced to share the road with cars traveling 25 miles per hour. It just wouldn't be feasible. It's frustrating to be given basically nothing and then be forced to accept it as a victory. It's frustrating to be treated like a second-class citizen because I chose a mode of transport that isn't a car. Every day when I run and go errands on my bike, I'm at risk of becoming a statistic. And what's worse is that the council doesn't really seem to care. When I spoke at the last meeting, Councilman Armington was the only one to respond to my concerns, which is ironic because I don't even live in the ward that he represents. The other 6 council members said nothing. Not for nothing, I know that there are other cyclists in all of your wards, and while we do represent a small portion of your constituents, we are still your constituents. Please, I invite you, even if you disagree with my ideas of what Morristown should be, I want you to respond to what I'm saying. We could speak up together and have something to say so we could spark a dialogue and eventually come to a solution that is safe and useful to all users of our roads, no matter how they get around. Lastly, I do want to extend an invite to all the council members to join myself and other cyclists on rides around Morristown and Morris Township. Our group, Morris Urbanist, does weekly rides every Thursday night, and we also do rides as a sort of on-the-fly thing on weekends. I think it would be enlightening for the council and Morristown at large to experience exactly what it's like cycling in town. We do ride with people of all ages and skill levels. I can give contact information to the offices of any interested council members. That's all I have for tonight. Thank you for your time, and please give us 6 feet when passing.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kent. Marga?
That's it.
All right, and nobody else in chambers? Okay, I'm closing public comments. I'm gonna address Mr. Kent's remarks for a moment, and then I'll let, obviously, Stefan. But, Mr. Kent, just so you know, we don't all normally answer every question. We normally know on this council who's an expert on a topic, and we know that Stefan is the longtime biker. He's been fighting for bike lanes for a while. That's why we let him address your question at the last meeting, and 5 others didn't really chime in because we know that he knows more about it than the rest of us. So I apologize if you felt you weren't being addressed or neglected by the rest of us, but if every one of us answered every single person, this meeting would be going until Friday. So we try to give the people the answers that, from the sources that we feel are the best to give the sources. So, Stefan, did you want to expand?
Sure, Mr. Kent, so back in, between 2008 and 2012, the town, through the Environmental Commission, underwent a thorough evaluation of the entire town, every street that's not a residential local street, relative to the widths that are needed to accommodate on-street parking. If there's on-street parking there, 12-foot driveway, lane plus a 5-foot bicycle lane. The roads, Speedwell Avenue is the only street in the town that can accommodate this. And we were, after 10 years of working with the DOT, we were able to accommodate that. No other road can accommodate a bicycle lane. And so we felt that, or I felt that Sharrows were better than nothing, and that's what we have. I appreciate your energy, and I encourage you to continue asking for things. But that's something I've been working on for 15 years, and I guess this is as good as I can do. Billy, I'll go out and take a look at the sidewalk. I assume it's next to the
Nourish, New Jersey.
Nourish, New Jersey. I'll take a picture of it and send it to the administration. There's another spot over next to the Red Oak School, where the tree roots push up the sidewalk, and but it's a matter of typically sending pictures to the administration so they can address it. But that's all I have.
Okay, I'll address Pierce, and then you can go and then we'll circle back to us about it. Pierce, so as you know, Kristen Ace and I were out at your house on Friday for quite a while, chatting with you about your tree, and we looked at it. Kristen got in touch with the arborist right away, and he sent a reply to us. I'm going to text her or email her and let her address that with you, because he gave the reason why those trees were trimmed that way. I believe it was under his purview, but I'm going to let Kristen from the Shade Tree Commission get in touch with you in the next couple of days, and she could read the email that the arborist sent, and he'll explain what happened with the trees. But I appreciate you coming out, and we were out there looking at them with you. So hopefully you'll understand when Kristen explains it to you. Tawana.
Yes, hi. So I want to thank Commissioner Lindsay for coming in and, sharing her concern. I stand by what I said. And if there are 200 residents who live in Mannahan Village, and if 50 are scared, and they have contacted me personally, then that's a concern. And everyone needs to feel safe in their community. And so I've been going to Morristown Housing Authority meetings probably since 2016. And any complaints well before I considered being a councilwoman, I would bring to the Housing Authority. I would say within the last, I'm going to say 5 years, there has been significant things happening in Mannahan Village that are very concerning. And people, I'm happy that they are comfortable contacting me to let me know. There are residents who've had altercations over a parking spot that was theirs. So whether it be verbal or someone actually put their hands on a resident, which is very concerning. So, and with fights that have happened down there, I mean, residents were concerned that that was a place that people felt they can just come and do as they please. So I'm happy that there are residents who are not afraid, but for those who are, it is I have to represent them and speak to what I know to be true. And so it would be irresponsible for me not to mention what's happening there. And perhaps if the Morristown Housing Authority had some meetings at the Residence Center, other residents would show up and mention their concerns. But I think it's important that we do not only focus on the people who aren't afraid, and really let the other residents know they can come to us. And I know that you are the councilwoman-elect, so those residents hearing a blanket statement that no one's afraid isn't true. I never said everyone was afraid. I said some people, and that is accurate. So again, I stand by that. And like I said, if perhaps the Morristown Housing Authority would consider having meetings at that residence center, since it's still their building, other residents could feel comfortable coming out. And I'm at community events. While I cannot see everyone who moves in, because there's a fluctuation of residents moving in and out. So I'm sad that there are residents who don't know who I am, but I'm here to focus on the residents that came to me with their complaints over the years. So I just wanted to, respond to that. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cotton. I'm going to address the residents that came out from Parsons Village and Convent Muse. I'm going to issue you an apology because I obviously fell down on the job. When Mr. Minchello contacted me this summer, I understood it to say that I could not participate. His words to me were, "You can't participate." I took that not as advice. At the last meeting, he clarified his words and said he could never tell me that we couldn't participate in the meetings. It was just advice and a suggestion. I obviously misunderstood that. Ms. Barrett gave me the contact info for the attorney to contact regarding the hospital. I reached out to him Friday. He told me he couldn't speak at the time. I said I'd send him an email. I sent him an email. He didn't respond. I called him again today. He responded by email this afternoon saying he is not interested in meeting with me. Things aren't going anywhere right now. It will happen at the beginning of next year. In other words, I'm not going to know. So there's 5 people on this council. I'm not sure about Ms. Foster if she got the meeting. So let's say 4 council members were allowed to have information, and I was not allowed to have it. I'm not speaking for Mr. Umbriac anymore because he can speak for himself. So yeah, I was discriminated against. I was left out of the process, and unnecessarily, and for no reason. For no reason. And yeah, you all feel neglected and ignored, and that's what's happening. So yes, we know. The buildings have been bought up by the hospital or Atlantic Health. I know 55 was bought up, Madison was bought up years ago because they went before zoning to get lights put up in the back in 2018. So they've been spending hundreds of millions of dollars buying up those buildings at a nice price, and we know they're going to move forward. When are we going to find out how they're moving forward? I don't know. I'm being left out, and they're going to basically put the brakes on everything until I'm not in this seat anymore. And then we're all just going to keep coming to the meetings. But the hospital has no interest in communicating with us, not one bit of interest. I find that disrespectful. I know all of you do too. And Miss Allen is right. We live really close to those buildings, I know, because I deal with the trash and the people from Convent Muse right on. The people in those buildings do not respect us. They use the back wall as a picnic area in the nice weather and then just dump their garbage onto my backyard and without concern. So we know they're not the best neighbors. We know that they do construction nights and weekends. I lived through a demolition of cement one weekend that just covered all of our apartments in dirt and grime because they never bothered even telling anybody. And they were granted the right to do it over nights and weekends. So their business wouldn't be disrupted. It didn't matter if our lives were being disrupted, but their business wasn't disrupted. So it'd be nice if they were better neighbors. I'm hoping that they will be better neighbors. I'm hoping that everybody learns to work together and includes us in the process, but that's not happening right now, so we can't be quiet, because they're hoping that we go away and we lose interest. And I don't think that's going to happen, because I know my neighbors, and that's not going to happen. I got a lot of hot head nods over there. So I appreciate you all coming out. You know I'm going to be with you every step of the way. Like I said the last time, I'm not going anywhere. I live there. Roberta, you know me. I've lived across the street from her, across the courtyard from her for 30 years now. We're not going away. We're just going to keep speaking up. And if nothing else, we'll just be a thorn in their side. And the publicity is going to look really bad for such an esteemed, prestigious institution. The hospital it's magnificent. It's fantastic. It's a great facility. It brings a lot to this community. Why they don't want to work with us on this, it's disconcerting to me, because there's no reason for it not to be out in the public. And yes, they've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars with this. They came up with plans. They didn't just pop them in their head and say, oh, let's talk to Mr. Armington and Mr. Iannacone and say, oh, we want a garage, we want this, we want that. There's plans. We know there's plans. So who pays the planner? That's a good question. Stefan, can you address that? Town planner, how the town planner gets paid by projects? I mean, they get paid, they're on a contract with us, but then, developers also have to pay, developers pay into an escrow account, and his hourly rate gets paid from their escrow account. So they're paid by he's paid by the town, his company's paid by the town, but not all of his income comes from town. The development that gets done, they're required to pay into an escrow account, and then the money gets paid down as it's billed out on the work that he does for representing the town in development projects. As far as that's the understanding that I have. So hopefully I answered your questions.
Did you say that?
You can't, there's no interaction, no, sorry. Anyway.
I just want to acknowledge Amanda for coming out from the Learning Express. I'm liaison with the partnership. We have a meeting tomorrow morning. Thanks for all the legwork that you've already done in terms of supporting sidewalk sales in November and December. So I'll meet with the partnership and with Jennifer tomorrow, and we'll have an ongoing discussion. So thank you.
Okay, thanks. Moving on to
Council President, mind if I address the public?
Sure.
Okay, first thing, Bierce, you still here?
Yeah, she's right here. Bierce.
If you sent big pictures with your email, that may be why it was sent back.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
She can't hear you.
If you sent big pictures with your email, maybe that's why it got pushed back.
I'll stop by and talk to you after the meeting.
Okay. I got you.
I'll come out.
You can go ahead. Because Bierce does email me often, so it's not like her emails don't go through. I see them often. Billy Burns, obviously, that sidewalk will be checked. And if it's a slate sidewalk, it doesn't surprise me because the slates in Morristown sometimes lift. And it's good that it comes to our attention that DPW will go lift it up, dig underneath it, and reset it. Steve Kent, Stefan Armington is correct, is absolutely 100% correct on the study that was done. However, we're not opposed to seeking grant money to relook at it and to come up with a 2023-24 look at the streets. But the problem is when you have parking, county and state roads on either side, the lanes become X wide. There's just the width is so much, and you can't get a bike lane in it. And that's pretty much what Mr. Armington kind of was alluding to.
If Mr. Kent sends me an email at s-armington@townofmorristown.com, I'll send you the .org. .org, yeah. I'll send you the link to the Morristown's bicycle plan. It's on the town website somewhere, but I can send that to you, and you can at least get a sense of what we've done.
Thank you. And we'll send an email down to Millennium, who are our grant writers, to take a look to see if there's anything out there to take a look at the bike lane. Now, I'm going to address this, and I want you to listen to what I have to say and do not react to me. Can I get that? I got some people, all of you.
Except for the email.
There was one meeting. One.
Toshiba.
And Toshiba. One. That's it. There wasn't a bunch of secret meetings. The hospital, if they have purchased the properties, have the right to invite the mayor and the council, say, hey, this is some of our ideas. We didn't even have a second meeting to talk about what we thought, what we saw. But somebody or some people went to a blogger, and I don't call it an investigative news person, and put a bunch of stuff in the paper to rile up the public when there's no facts in those stories. Now, I'm telling you as mayor, there's no deal. The lady who was on the...
Yes.
Hears me. No promises made. They have a vision, but that's their vision. Now, let me give you an example by what I mean. In 2011, Price Waterhouse came to my office, and they wanted to do a 9 or 11-story building on the old lumberyard. Annacone's Lumberyard, the one he wants to make a park at.
Yours.
Well, it's mine, but the one he wants to make a park at. So what do you think my reaction was? Okay, you listen to them. Do you see an 11-story or a 9-story building there? No. It's a process. And since I've been mayor, the public has always been part of the process. Parsons Village will be part of the process. Convent Muse will be part of the process when and if they come forward with ideas or what they want to do. Nothing will be done behind closed doors. Nothing will be done in secrecy. It will all be done in the public venue. And it'll go in front of the public for input. It'll go in front of the council for input. And because 2 council members were excluded by the advice of council, I don't disagree. Jay Delaney taught me something a long time ago when I was a councilman. He said, even if it's not a conflict, if the appearance of a conflict is possible, then don't do it. I don't disagree with the councilor's advice. Okay? There's no laid out plan, no site plans filed. There's only the first meeting that the council got to see what I got to see, so I included them. That's transparency, including your representatives. There's 5 council members that saw them. 3 of them are at large that represent all of you. So I just want you to take a step back and know that nothing is going to be done in secret or out of your sight or view or your ears. Nothing. We don't have another meeting scheduled. We had 1 meeting. The council members were in 1 meeting. They saw what I saw. I wanted them to see what I saw. But we haven't had even a chance to regroup and talk about what we saw because somebody called somebody and put all this stuff in the paper and a whole bunch of stuff was talked about that isn't factual. So yes, I sit and I listen, I understand. I do. I've been doing this long enough to understand the public is the most important part of any decision that gets made in this community. And that's the way it's always going to be as long as I'm mayor. Public, council, your representatives will make decisions based on what's presented to the public. Nothing's getting done behind closed doors, and there's no deals on the table. You have my word. And really can't say anything more. I just want you to understand that that's my position. It's always been my position, 14 years. Nothing gets done unless it's in the public. And it'll always be in the public. Now, I say it with passion because I really believe it. And I want you to understand that I am not just up here pontificating because certain council members were excluded at the advice of council. I don't think it was bad advice. It was advice. He advised us and he advised them. Whether it was the right decision or wrong decision, it was a decision that was made. But it wasn't done out of malice. It wasn't done out of disrespect. It wasn't done because I don't like somebody or somebody else doesn't like somebody. It was done on the advice of council. And I don't want Parsons Village to think that we personally excluded your council rep. She's my council rep. I live in the 4th Ward. But there was 5 other council members there that saw the same thing I saw, but we have not even had a chance to talk about it. But yet, all this stuff comes out in a blog on the internet, and you take it as news. It's not investigative reporting. It's a blog. Now, you all have my email. I can't answer questions, but you can come to my office. You can email me, call me, come to my office on South Street. I'm full-time here. Any of you can come as a group, whatever you want to do. But this will be done in the public, not behind closed doors. It was just 1 meeting with the council members that saw the same stuff I saw. Their vision is not our vision, but they have the right to put that stuff forward. That's all it is. And it got all worked up because stuff is printed in a paper, or not even a paper, on a blog on a computer, and he's shaking his head because he knows I'm pointing the finger at him. and stuff is said to him by other council members, right? Really? Did you see any plans? No. You heard what they were trying to offer, what their ideas were, but there's nothing in solid writing. There's no deals made. It's a process, and it's a public process, and it's always going to be a public process. Always. And whether you ever vote for me again or not, that's your choice. That's the greatest part about this country. But I don't do things based on votes. 14 years I've been mayor. I could have used this mayor seat to do a lot of different things, but what we do is the best we can for this community. And I think we've done a darn good job. And whoever said it before, the beautiful downtown and the blue skies, I'm passionate about it, and it was you. And I see that, and I agree with you. And I get worked up, and I get very passionate about this community that I live in, and I've been living in for a long time. It's a wonderful community. It's a wonderful town. It is the gem of the state of New Jersey. And we have shown New Jersey what we can do and what other towns can do because of what we've done. So rest assured, you have my back. You've had it for years. I've got your back. These council members have your back. The next council member, whoever it is in the 4th Ward, is going to have your back. There's 3 council members here that aren't going to be here in January. Tawana Cotton, Daphne Armington, and Sandy Mayer. There'll be 3 new council members. Nothing is going to ever get done. No, there's not going to be any more meetings. All right? If this goes forward, you're all going to know about it. You got my word. That's all I can give you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor, for saying that. We appreciate it.
I didn't get no clap for that. I can't believe it.
Hey, David, I've got one other question, if we could go back to the sidewalk sales. If they want to do that in November and December, does that require an ordinance? Oh, does that require an ordinance if they want to be able to do a trial during November?
Yes.
So we only have one more meeting.
2 more meetings. You have a November.
We have a November
and
meeting, but
December.
it'll be after November 1st. It'll be the second Tuesday.
He wants to know if we want to have sidewalk sales in November, we only have one meeting before that.
There's no way you could have a sidewalk sale in November.
So we would have to
Yeah.
shoot to have an ordinance that would have to be done by ordinance?
It would have to be done by ordinance. It would be done in, the earliest you could have it in place, assuming it was adopted, would be January.
Can everybody keep their voice down, please? We're still having a meeting. Sorry?
Yes. So if you want.
It's fascinating.
Yeah. No. If you wanted to adopt an ordinance to allow for sidewalk sales.
David, please hang on.
I'm sorry, sure.
Stop. Everybody, if anybody wants to leave, we'll continue the conversation. So if everybody wants to just get up and leave, because I know some people that's what's causing the noise. Sorry. They want to talk to the mayor who stepped outside while we talk about this.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, we got the answer. But
January would be the
and
earliest.
There's no way of doing a trial without an ordinance change?
No, you would need an ordinance
Just
change.
asking.
Yeah, an ordinance change, which would require, the earliest it could be available would be January.
January?
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Why January?
Because it would be introduced in November.
No, we could introduce an ordinance next meeting, which is October 28th.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought we only had 2 meetings left this year. We have 3.
No, we have 3, and then we could pass it on November 12th, and we could have sidewalk sales for
Then it would be
Black Friday.
20 days following
Oh,
the
20
date.
days.
So you would be December, or first week of December.
Well, that could still help out
Yeah.
some people early December. So you want to shoot for getting an ordinance introduced?
I'll leave it to the group.
Okay.
I mean, I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
I'm sorry, I thought we only had 2 meetings left
And I
this
was,
year. We have
again,
3.
I was just wondering if there's some way we could have done it a different way, but you clarified that it has to be done by ordinance.
It has to be
Okay.
an ordinance, yes.
All right. Thank you. Moving on to,
So,
The mayor-
just FYI then, we should be working towards something that's maybe does not include a trial, that actually changes it.
oh my God.
Careful. Okay, thank you. Thank you, David.
Okay, Jen, we're going to go out of order and go with the presentation for the partnership, and then when the mayor's done speaking with the public, he could come back and give his report. We're just going out of order tonight, aren't we? We're just living wild. Jillian, we're going to have the partnership give their presentation so he could speak with the public.
I'm going to give his calendar.
Oh, okay.
He's outside.
Never mind, Jen. You could sit there.
You can hang out.
You could hang there.
Get the
You
camera.
could sit there.
Want to do Jen first, and then we can...
What? No,
She's gonna go.
Jillian's going to.
Oh, okay.
Jillian's going to give the report while the mayor speaks. What?
You want me to go now?
Yes, go ahead.
All right. It's been a lively meeting so far. Okay, recent events. We had on Sunday, October 1st, the Morristown Partnership Fall Festival. It was a successful event. And then Thursday, October 5th, we had the ribbon cutting for Forever Young, an anti-aging clinic offering aesthetic and wellness treatments located at 40 Market Street, Suite 3B. I think that's the old Carlos Bakery space. Friday, October 6th, was the Festival of Books keynote event at MPAC. And then the main event, the Festival of Books, was on Saturday, October 7th. Also on October 7th, we had the Fire Bureau Open House at 161. There's a great turnout for that as well. Thank you, Chief. And then Sunday, October 8th, the Bethel Church celebrated 180th anniversary. Congratulations to them. Coming up on Wednesday, October 11th at 11:30, we have the Fire Prevention and Safety Seminar in the Morristown Senior Center. Topics will include the use of fire extinguishers, general fire prevention, cooking safety, home oxygen safety, fire and carbon monoxide alarms, home heating safety, and more. Lunch will be served. On Tuesday, October 17th, from noon to 2 p.m., is the quarterly Morristown Senior Q&A with the mayor in the Morristown Senior Center. And then on Saturday, October 21st, from 9 a.m. to noon, we have the Fall Town Cleanup, which begins at Town Hall. Please register online on the town website, townofmorristown.org/cleanup. I also wanted to mention that we had the revaluation process is ongoing. A lot of our residents are starting to get their revaluation letters in the mail that shows what their estimated valuation is. If you have not seen your letter, please check your mail. And if you have any questions or issues, you can meet with the revaluation company to address any concerns about the valuation that they've reached. All the information can be found online on the town's website as well. I think we're good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just a quick question about the reevaluation.
Yes, sir.
Because I got mine, and my assessed value went up significantly, but my
Yes.
taxes went down.
Yes.
And I don't really understand why.
How is that?
Yeah. I'm happy.
Yeah, so it was fortuitous that we did our revaluation this year because our equalization rate actually would have gone down significantly this year, almost 50%, like 55% if we had not done the revaluation. So we saw a significant increase in the amount of value in town, the collective amount of value in town. So even if you saw an increase in your own property values, the relative increase of your house versus other properties was less than, the other properties in town. So even if you saw a significant increase, your relative taxes may actually come down a little bit. I have not personally seen the final kind of report yet, but from what I understand, I think a lot of our commercial properties saw a significant increase relative to our single-family residential property. So that may account for why, even though you saw an increase in your values, it did not increase as much as your neighbor might have.
And also the commercial properties actually, as a percentage of properties in town, actually went up too.
Yes,
Because
exactly.
Apartments are included in the commercial properties.
Yes.
And so that also caused the shift. Just one comment about that.
Absolutely.
I think the group did a very, very good job. I think their communications were great.
Great.
Also remind people that on the website, you have all the information on all the other properties in town.
Yes.
So you can compare.
Yes.
Because what is important is, did they value your property properly, i.e. the square footage of your home, the size of the lot, number of bathrooms, those kind of things. And they're very, very nice when you visit them. I went and visited them just for information purposes. I was in Chow, I was very happy with mine. It was accurate. But the people are delightful, and they're right on the corner of South and Madison.
Yes.
So they're really easy to go, and because when I was there, oddly enough, I said, "You're getting a lot of calls?" They said, "No, we only got 14 calls so far."
Wow.
So don't be afraid to call. And
Yes.
and they're very nice. Very, very nice.
They are, and they really want to talk to homeowners and property owners in town. I strongly urge people to please review your value. Review and make sure that the value is based on accurate information, like the number of bedrooms and bathrooms and things like that. This is really the best time to do that before the book is struck in January. So I really encourage everyone to please review your information, and if you have any questions, feel free to either call the revaluation company or call the tax assessor.
So the final tax rate is 1.46, or is that?
Nothing is final, that's estimated. The finals get struck next year, and it is based on two factors, of course, the total assessed value of the entire town over what the budget is. So the budget's going to be the other variable, and that obviously will be set through the budget process next year.
Because that's the talking point that everybody's writing about on all the other websites. 1.46, so I don't think everybody understands the...
Yeah, I mean, so keep in mind, it's a ratio.
The budget stays the same. The budget basically rules what the tax rate is, as opposed to the tax rate, and then the budget goes up and down.
Right. The tax rate is the total assessed value over whatever the levy is, right? So the levy stays the same. If the value goes up, then the tax rate comes down.
Right.
So that's effectively what the estimate in the letter.
Is that what people are talking about? I don't get to see a letter, so is that?
Yes, the letter basically says that the entire, the value of the town went up, I don't remember the exact percentage, but it went up like 40 or 50%. So then the tax rate's going to come down an equivalent amount.
Right.
Just, assuming that no other things, that everything else stays the same. Of course, the budget has not been adopted or considered. We're not even in the budget process yet, although the budget season's starting. So that will be kind of the third variable that will determine what the relative increase in the tax rate will be next year.
Okay.
Okay?
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Jen, you want to go?
Heck yeah.
Hey, everybody, we're going to do a partnership presentation with Jen Waring.
7 pages long and 13 slides. Dig in, guys. Hi, everyone. My name is Jennifer Waring. I'm the Executive Director of the Morristown Partnership. We very much appreciate giving us time on your agenda to share information on the Morristown Partnership's current programs and initiatives, as well as many tools we provide year-round to our business and property owners. Our aim this evening is to outline the substantial support we provide to the downtown commercial district and thereby the town of Morristown. The Morristown Partnership is the designated district management corporation that oversees the Special Improvement District, often referred to it as the SID, established in 1994. At a time when large corporations were exiting the downtown and major retailers were shuttering, a group of property owners had foresight, along with the mayor and the town council, to put the SID in place. They understood that their combined contribution through the special assessments might not directly align with the individual benefit received. However, they recognized that it would collectively support the entire business district and the broader community. We are tasked with fostering and maintaining economic revitalization in the business district. We achieve this by helping to facilitate collaboration with member properties, the business community, local stakeholders, as well as municipal and county governments. Demonstrated by our nearly 30-year track record as a catalyst organization, we have successfully worked with local government to usher in projects including mixed use and smart growth development in our community. In the late 90s, we advocated for the first apartment development in the central business district in decades. That's the Chancery Square project on Catana Avenue. Leading into the mid-2000s, we championed the Epstein's department stores reimagining, now 40 Park, and the state of New Jersey's first transit village project, the Highlands, which is now SoFi by the train station. We contributed startup funds for the former community theater, now MPAC, a world-class performing arts center, and also contributed financial assistance to the Morristown Greens electrical infrastructure. Early on, we fostered the Clean Communities Program, launched Morristown's Sustainability Initiative, and took the lead in developing design guidelines to preserve our architectural history. These programs are now seamlessly integrated to the fabric of our town, evident through ongoing improvements and codified in our municipal code. Our operation is overseen by a board of trustees elected from our constituency for 3-year terms, and also includes a liaison selected by the mayor's office, and importantly, a representative from the town council, which is Nathan Umbriack. The Morristown Partnership receives partial funding through a special assessment on commercial properties within the designated special improvement area. Additionally, we proactively explore alternative revenue sources to reduce dependence on the SID assessment. This includes securing grants, soliciting sponsorships, and collecting participation fees for select events, encouraging individual giving, and leveraging in-kind partnerships and engaging in collaborative advertising. Our multifaceted approach allows us to develop, promote, and execute impactful initiatives that contribute to the sustained growth and prosperity of both the Special Improvement District and the town of Morristown. The municipal role centers on addressing residents' needs, prioritizing safety, and managing essential infrastructure. The Morristown Partnership is dedicated to overseeing, promoting, and supporting the commercial interests within the town. We actively interact with current property owners, developers, and potential investors to gain insights on their specific projects and requirements. After gathering pertinent information regarding the details of a project, we offer assistance in assessing available space and identifying the preferred types of tenants for leasing within proposed properties. Through direct outreach to property owners, we underscore the importance of focusing attention on a diverse retail mix that serves as amenity for both their property and the broader community. We also encourage property owners to disseminate our organization's information among their tenants. We are their resource. In addition, we proactively stay abreast of the Planning Board, Board of Adjustment agendas, approved projects, redevelopment areas, and maintain regular communication and assisting with relevant departments such as administration, zoning, and planning. We provide details that are crucial for property owners' decision-making, such as recent amendments to the land development ordinance, available data and planning reports. In the instances of business changes or closures, we provide direct outreach. Recently, we informed a property owner about the unexpected business closure, sharing community-sourced information. This owner was unaware of the swift decision to close the Morristown location. Our prompt communication enabled further discussions and plans to reconnect for plans in the future. Another example of our support would be related to business retention. We supported the relocation efforts of businesses in the Midtown Shopping Center after the approval of the M Station redevelopment. Moreover, we manage the internal database of available space and lease and property development opportunities. We monitor communications related to each property. Consistent outreach to real estate brokers and individual property owners allows us to understand the types of businesses expressing interest in the community. Acting as a point of contact for businesses seeking to establish a presence in the downtown area, we document these inquiries and strive to match them appropriately. We provide valuable information to future tenants and diligently share potential prospects with property ownership. The Morristown Partnership regularly interacts with Morristown business owners and individuals looking to establish themselves in our community. Our focus is on facilitating efficient communication within the business community and working to build valuable connections and contacts. A priority of our organization is providing businesses with reliable information, enhancing their awareness of opportunities, and aiding them in achieving optimal operation. To make this happen, we start by listening. Upon identifying a challenge, we explore whether other businesses are encountering similar issues. Through close collaboration, particularly concerning regulations that could be more conducive to business, we gather input from businesses to propose changes benefiting the majority. We are committed to understanding the needs of individual businesses, recognizing overall and overlapping themes, and creating opportunities to benefit the business community as a whole. When a new business expresses interest in Morristown or finalizes a lease within one of our member properties, they routinely receive a comprehensive welcome email. This email includes essential onboarding information, such as guidance on starting a business in Morristown, a document we helped develop with the town of Morristown, registering their business on our website, direct contacts for municipal departments, and connections to the mayor's office for scheduling a ribbon-cutting ceremony. I even bring the giant scissors. Our commitment extends beyond the initial phase, ensuring that businesses are continually informed about available opportunities within the Special Improvement District. From the moment we learn about their lease signing to the completion of their build-out phase, and even beyond the ribbon-cutting ceremony, we maintain consistent touch points digitally or in person. Our proactive approach includes maintaining a Google alert for Morristown-related topics, keeping us updated on press releases and other community happenings. Annually, we diligently update our mailing database with addresses obtained from our election process. Our commitment extends to physically visiting properties, photographing signs, and having interns research return mail and images to enhance our directory. Every year, we send a comprehensive overview of our events, programs, and services to all known contact addresses via the United States Postal Service. We also provide the opportunity for self-nomination to run for our Board of Trustees. The ability to foster and maintain connections within the business community is a result of our long-standing presence as a reliable stable in Morristown. These relationships are cultivated through our own community events, active participation in other community activities, engaging in various conversations, and establishing connections with stakeholders in the nonprofit sector. An annual summary of our accomplishments is shared with the council alongside our budget process and on our website. Ultimately, our aim is to provide a concierge-level service to both businesses and the wider community while nurturing a collaborative and supportive environment. We are dedicated to enriching the downtown experience, maintaining partnerships to improve the public right-of-way. We enhance and maintain locations with decorative elements like American flags, themed banners, welcome signs, seasonal plantings, and streetscape lighting. All of these adornments enhance the town's appearance and attractiveness. In the nearly 30 years since our establishment, we have successfully implemented millions of dollars in streetscape improvements. Following a change in state grant structure, we have forged a strong partnership with the Town of Morristown's Engineering Division and Department of Public Works and Shade Tree Commission for continual maintenance, education, and execution of the Streetscape Master Plan. In addition to past clean team efforts, a program that we've provided when budgeting has allowed, I personally ensure that the community remains litter-free by regularly picking up garbage on our sidewalks. This includes the removal of unsightly advertising signs from the 287 off-ramp. I do not like power washing signs when we come off 287, and eliminating stickers and flyers from utility poles and storefronts. Additionally, hazards in the business district are promptly reported to the appropriate departments. Via our event schedule, the Morristown Partnership orchestrates over 40 public event days annually, not only for the community's enjoyment, but also as effective tools for business development. This expands the base of people who get to know and experience Morristown and what it offers. Our recent signature event, the Morristown Festival on the Green, held earlier this month, stands out as an annual celebration that fosters a sense of community among residents and visitors. Additionally, it serves as a powerful platform for introducing new businesses to a broad audience, capitalizing on substantial foot traffic and interaction, and solidifying Morristown as a destination. The Morristown Farmers Market, another enduring community event, allows businesses to join at no cost for a single event date within the 23-week season and consistently draws foot traffic to the downtown on Sundays. Rounding out our events are Morristown Restaurant Week, Meet Me in Morristown, the Halloween Trick or Treat, and Christmas Festival at the Morristown Green. Our present lineup of events provides different participation levels and audience reach. Morristown businesses need more than local residents for survival. We compete with other downtowns for area customers, requiring us to draw people from beyond our town borders. This is essential for the well-being of our businesses, facilitated through the events and networking meetings we organize. These diverse activities collectively serve as catalysts for business growth, community engagement, and regional exposure. Our long-standing gift certificate program, initiated in 1996, is a cornerstone of our support for the local businesses. With nearly 200 participants, this program functions as a universal currency, incentivizing and guaranteeing local spending. Consumers can buy a gift certificate at our office, 14 Maple Avenue on the second floor, or online, receiving a complimentary $10 certificate for every $50 spent. This is underwritten in our annual budget. Annually, we facilitate the sale and distribution of nearly $100,000 in gift certificates, ensuring the funds are spent locally. We absorb credit card processing fees, providing relief to small businesses. And additionally, there are no participation fees for businesses to join. We just ask them that they train their team members to take them within their business. This program serves as a valuable market research tool. Through one-to-one interactions during sales and redemptions, we connect with the public, addressing inquiries and gathering tips. When businesses redeem certificates, we gain insights into their business operations, challenges, or concerns. Our organization's website, morristown-nj.org, serves as a 24/7, 365 hub for business interactions. Members can register, create a portal, and effortlessly submit spaces for lease, employment opportunities, promotions, and events. This powerful tool ensures businesses can connect with us at their convenience, and we promptly showcase their information. Additionally, our website serves as a central hub for public reports, plans, alerts, updates, and general interest information, consistently updated to benefit our business community. Our overarching goal is to uphold accurate databases and offer comprehensive resources for stakeholders. We employ digital tools such as monthly business e-newsletters, highlighting current opportunities and updates, serving as a call to action for content submissions in our public email blast. The public communication reaches over 6,000 subscribers, aggregating community events, including information from our businesses, with further details shared across our social media accounts. Through our long-standing partnership with the Star Ledger and NJ.com, we offer advertising and advertorial opportunities in our seasonal series, which is 4 issues: Spring, Summer, Autumn, and Holidays in Morristown. These annual publications highlight Morristown partnership events, upcoming Greater Morristown community programming, and typically include business interest stories of member businesses. Finally, we produce a pocket-sized downtown guide featuring participating businesses in the gift certificate program. 5,000 copies are distributed annually via all Morristown Partnership gift certificate purchases. It's displayed at all of our events and select locations throughout Greater Morristown. As we present our proposed ordinance amendments, the Morristown Partnership Board of Trustees is actively looking ahead to the future. We have officially started the strategic planning process, as previously discussed publicly. Ongoing discussions among board members are focused on improvements to enhance how the organization operates. Some recommendations include holding an annual meeting of the membership and reintroducing committee structure that would involve not only elected board members, but also engage participants willing to contribute and share their expertise for the betterment of the entire SID. Our test project is what we're doing with our retail subcommittee and Amanda, who is not a board member, but an active and engaged business owner. Continued board stewardship will prioritize securing strong representation from underrepresented business neighborhoods, industries, promoting inclusivity and diverse perspectives in the decision-making process. Of particular importance to us going forward is strengthening our partnerships with the town of Morristown and our members. To achieve our goals, as well as those programs and services of importance to you, it's crucial to receive your consistent input and maintain an open dialogue. We encourage you to reach out, and we'll do the same. There will be formal surveys and other touch points throughout this process. Your collaboration and insights are necessary as we work to improve what we offer and make sure it fits well with our community's needs. As outlined in our proposal, we aim to enhance revenue by incorporating overlooked parcels within the SID into our ordinance. This undertaking will also ensure fair and equitable support from the designated SID area established in 1994, which has not to date been updated to include all subsequent commercial properties added or modified since that time. While our estimates are approximate, we intend to initially allocate a minimum of $100,000 to these focus areas. Our organization's immediate priorities involve restructuring our outstanding debt liabilities to diminish the reliance on our high-interest line of credit usage for cash flow. Secondly, establishing an operating reserve policy and repayment structure for general needs in anticipation of the impact of the reevaluation and property tax appeals. It will also provide flexibility to seize opportunities such as grants requiring matching funds or cushioning against unforeseen challenges, as demonstrated by the COVID-19 pandemic. This proactive approach aims to position us for success in emergency scenarios. Another critical project entails addressing deferred maintenance, including refurbishing welcome signs and wayfinding, painting light poles, and meeting other beautification needs. Furthermore, it's essential to have a well-stocked inventory of streetscape light poles to quickly replace damaged items, especially in situations like accidents or knockdowns, where insurance reimbursements may take time to recoup. These are the immediate needs that will not only enhance the aesthetics of the community spaces, but also contribute to their safety and functionality. Lastly, having the right team members and vendors in place is indispensable, as people capital is essential for achieving our goals. As of now, the Morristown Partnership has not received data on the total assessed value of the commercial properties. We know information is anticipated this month to our property ownership. The comprehensive spending plan will be discussed during our strategic planning process, following the confirmation of property details and the total assessed value post-revaluation. We welcome ideas from the council and the community at large to propose programming that can be of value to our constituency. Meet your partners. Finally, I'd like to introduce you to your partners, the Morristown Partnership Board of Trustees, and invite your feedback to them directly. They're your business neighbors. Please email board@morristown-nj.org to share your thoughts on future goals or to express interest in joining our strategic planning efforts. Thank you for your time tonight. Our board convenes tomorrow at 8 a.m. in our offices at 14 Maple Avenue on the second floor, and we welcome anyone interested to join us. And those are my slides for this evening. Thank you. What was my time?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, all right.
Thanks, Jen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jen.
Okay. I have no idea where we are.
Did you do my report? All over my script. No, did you read all my script?
Additional art disbursements.
She read it.
Thank you.
We did it, but we didn't do it until this evening.
Of course not.
Council
Okay.
liaison.
Ready to move on to council liaison reports? Tawana.
Yes, okay. So I'm giving the report for Shade Tree Commission. The tree well flexi-pave in the business district that was destroyed during the water company's recent pipe work is being attended this week. The Shade Tree Commission Pocahontas Park cleanup is Saturday, October 14th, 10 a.m. till noon. Councilman Silva's church group and the Morristown Rotary will volunteer to help the Shade Tree Commission's clean up garbage, weeds, and spread 14 yards of mulch. More volunteers will be appreciated. The Shade Tree Commission, with the help of Councilman Umbriak, MHS students and residents had a successful invasive removal day in Jacob Ford Park to protect the native shrubbery near the playground. 7 trees that were improperly planted will be moved to Moore Street into empty wells this week. All old tree stumps have been removed from Business District tree wells, and new plantings will go in this fall. The 2023 fall planting will fill 67 empty tree spots in the Business District and 13 resident tree requests. The Morristown Shade Tree Commission will be featured at the Shade Tree Federation Annual Conference for their successful work in Jersey Cottage Playground with the William J. Porter Grant of 2022. The Raptor Trust is releasing a screech owl in Foots Pond Wood tomorrow, Wednesday, at 6:30 p.m. This shows that the rehabilitation work done by the Friends of Foots Pond Wood under the Shade Tree Commission's umbrella is truly creating a healthy forest environment. So please join to see this amazing event.
Thank you, Tawana. I will add that there was a lot of work that has been done recently at Foots Pond with the Boy Scout, the Foots Pond meeting we had last night. Just so much work has been done with cooperative groups. Deloitte came, Jersey Care sent a group from I forget what company. The Boy Scouts planted a few trees. The TJ School, which you know about, the students are each planting a tree every year they get to decide, so they'll have something to come back to and look at. So there's a great cooperative partnership with the Friends of Foots Pond Group. They've moved over to Lidgerwood, and they did a huge planting along the back fence. It's just amazing, so I thank them for all their hard work. And I believe the accounting was over a month's worth of volunteer hours have been done so far this year, over 800 and something hours of volunteers between everybody from Foots Pond and all the groups. So, really interesting. Anyway, anybody else have a liaison report? No.
Housing Authority? Morristown Housing Authority actually met on Monday, October 2nd. That was the September meeting, because that September meeting was moved out 1 week. There will be another meeting in October, which is the annual meeting. So there will be 2 meetings in October. This is the report of the meeting of October 2nd. It was good news. This meeting, Orbach was there. So you had the property management company, and they had 3 representatives there. They had the president of Orbach Affordable Housing Solutions, Jay Reinhardt. They had the person who's actually responsible for the construction, a gentleman named Jamie Berman, and then the new property manager for the property is the head for Morristown, which is Marjorie Verrett. They participated in the discussion. They were very receptive to suggestions. It was good to have them at the meeting. It was asked at that meeting, would they be at future meetings? And they will be. So they will be at future meetings, which kind of led to the discussion of what I think maybe either Tina or you were referring to, Tawana, which is, tenants should think about coming to these meetings. The only people that were at that meeting was Tawana and her daughter. Lindsley was there because, Tina's there because she's a member of the board. But, I remind people, you got the property management companies there. Rather than talking through the Morristown Housing Authority, which does not own the buildings, does not manage the buildings, this gives you a forum to talk directly with the property management company, which is going to be very, very helpful, hopefully. I do continue to encourage them to do tenant associations and have meetings directly with the property management company, and maybe even have those meetings at the sites, because it was actually also mentioned that sometimes getting to town hall for people in the housing might be difficult, either lack of transportation or the time of the day, whatever. But maybe we can start getting those associations together and having the property management actually meet more regularly with the people at the sites. So that's also going to be ongoing and discussed. To go back to the conversation that Tawana and Tina were having with reference to security issues, one of the things that was said in that discussion was that Orbach, Keith Kennard, did meet with the police chief, and they did meet with the police chief. The issue, I think, and it's an ongoing discussion, the issue that they're still discussing is what do they enforce, okay? Because as we all know, especially when you have kids, when you have teenagers, what do you enforce and what do you not enforce, So maybe the clarity of the rules of, just like you have in any apartment building or the rules you have in your own household sometimes, those rules need to be established. And the clarity of what's going to be enforced and what's not going to be enforced can be better established. So when the police get called, or when people are considering calling the police, they kind of have an idea of what to do, okay? But I think the clarity on that, and I think that's going to get worked through, because that dialogue is going on right now. A couple more things. Bear with me for a second. A profit and loss statement was presented. I was very frustrated, as other board members have been in the past, of the lack of financials. Keith just recently did hire a new CFO. What's unfortunate is I still don't think that the board is getting a full financial picture. There's no balance sheet that they've ever seen. There's no sources and uses statements. There's no regular financials that are presented that you would normally see in a board like this, particularly because it's charged, the primary responsibility of the board now is financial. It's vouchers, okay? having that up-to-date financial information is very, very important. And they really haven't gotten it, at least during the entire time that I've sat on that board, or sat as the liaison to that committee. I do have some recommendations that I shared with Keith. You know, I think that it's going to be very tough for this CFO to truly catch up with the work that needs to be done. So maybe you do bring people in to take a look at the finances, look at the transaction, the underlying sales transaction, ask the question, was all the money received that was supposed to be received? If it's not, why wasn't it received? If it's still owed, how much is still owed? Where is it invested? What's going on with it? And also to help the CFO, probably through an accelerated audit process, because their fiscal year actually ended on September 30th. So they're going to get ready to do what we're going to see later on tonight. They're going to be doing an audit of their prior years. It's a good opportunity to work with those auditors. And I think also what happens in that audit, particularly if you accelerate it, you can do away with a lot of the rumors and innuendo as to what's really going on. I think bringing a third party in, doing the audit, but at the same time looking at the transaction, accounting for the money that was involved with the transaction, understanding what monies were moved to MCDC, doing accounting on those monies so that we know how those monies were spent. Because these are all, at the end of the day, these are all public funds that the board does have a fiduciary stewardship responsibility for. And I think, just like getting ORBAC to the table, the next goal really should be try to get strong financials before this group so the facts are there in black and white. I think Keith is going to work on that. I think they've got the start going on with the CFO. They've got the opportunity to start this with an auditing process that's being started. So let's see. Let's stay tuned and see what happens. Other than that, there is an annual meeting. The board does intend to actually establish the committees. So there are committees within that organization. Those committees have not been in place in the past, but the intention is that at this annual meeting, they will establish those committees, one of which will be a finance committee. And that's it. That's it for right now.
Thank you. Okay, we are moving on to regular business. Margo?
Okay, there are no ordinances for introduction. There are two ordinances for public hearing and adoption. Ordinance number O-29-2023, an ordinance providing for certain capital improvements at the Morristown Municipal Airport by the town of Morristown and the county of Morris, state of New Jersey, and appropriating $150,224 therefore to finance part of the cost thereof.
I will make a motion to adopt ordinance O-29-2023.
I'll second.
At this time, I'll open the floor for public comment on ordinance O-29-2023. Any comments or questions from council? Okay, I'll close the public hearing. On the adoption of ordinance O-29-2023, Councilman Armington.
Yes.
Councilwoman Cotton.
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone.
Yes.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
Councilman Umbreak.
Yes.
Council President Mayor.
Yes.
Ordinance O-29-2023 is adopted. Ordinance O-30-2023, an ordinance providing for certain capital improvements at the Morristown Municipal Airport by the town of Morristown and the county of Morris, state of New Jersey, and appropriating $7,432,181 therefore to finance part of the cost thereof.
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance O-30-2023.
I'll second.
I will now open the floor for a public hearing on ordinance O-30-2023. No comment. I'll close the public hearing. Any comments or questions from council? On the adoption of ordinance O-30-2023, Councilman Armington.
Yes.
Councilwoman Cotton.
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone.
Yes.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
Councilman Umbreak.
Yes.
Council President Mayor.
Yes.
Ordinance O-30-2023 is adopted. There are 10 resolutions for adoption on the agenda. Are there any that members of council would like to pull for separate consideration?
Can you pull R-140, please?
And Margo, 136.
Okay. Okay, with that, I would ask for a motion to adopt resolutions numbers 133 through 135, 137 through 139, and 141 and 142-2023.
I will make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, on the adoption of those resolutions, Councilman Armington.
Yes.
Councilwoman Cotton.
Yes.
Councilman Anacone.
Yes.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
Councilman Umbreak.
Yes.
Council President Mayor.
Yes.
Those resolutions are adopted. Resolution number R-136-2023, a resolution regarding governing body certification of the annual audit. I have a motion to
I will make a motion to introduce, adopt Resolution R-136, 2023.
I'll second.
Councilwoman? Council President?
That was Bob.
Actually, it's me.
Oh.
Raise that one.
I'm sorry,
Actually,
yes.
I'm just pointing out, that was a perfect audit, and you don't see that too often, okay? In the management letter there, which is one of the oddest management letters I've ever read, by the way, because it's, they're debating accounting principles in it for the first two-thirds of the letter, but at the very end, they basically point out that there was absolutely no deficiencies. And if anybody really wants to see how this town runs and understand the details of the flow of funds, read that audit. And that is exactly, the reason why I'm bringing it up also, that's what you should be seeing with the Housing Authority. Okay? When you have funds that are public funds, having those funds and having the financial oversight that I think, and I gave you Frank Mason's here, I think, there he is,
Yes.
Frank Mason and Jillian, and the mayor says it all the time. It's good work.
Thank you. I do want to, since you brought that up, Councilman, I do want to acknowledge Frank Mason, our CFO, and our finance staff, who do a fabulous job managing the town, and I'm happy that we have yet another year of a clean financial audit. So thank you for raising that.
Well-oiled government.
On
Really
the
is.
I'm sorry, excuse me, Mayor.
Sorry.
No,
I was going to say something, Bob keeps bringing up the Housing Authority, but I'll wait to the end of the meeting. It's not my meeting.
Okay. On the adoption of Resolution R-136-2023, Councilman Armington?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cotton?
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Councilman Umbreak?
Yes.
Council President Mayor?
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Resolution number R-140-2023, a resolution awarding a contract to Green Valley Group, Inc. for pickleball courts at Ledgerwood Park.
I will make a motion to adopt R-140-2023.
I'll second.
Okay, Council President.
Are we taking one of the four away and making it permanently 3 pickleball? Are we adding?
We are taking one of the existing tennis courts and converting it to 3 dedicated pickleball courts.
Okay, and what happens to the 2, there's 2 that are tennis and pickleball?
There are 2 that are still painted and those will stay.
Okay.
We're only taking the one and creating 3 dedicated pickleball courts. We've had overwhelming interest from the community. I get emails almost weekly from residents asking, when are we going to have dedicated pickleball courts with the right size nets and all the other kind of stuff. So this was in this year's capital plan, so we're able to get a good pricing. It was a little higher than we were anticipated, but still within the money that's allocated, so we are excited to move forward. It's weather permitting. If we can get them done this year, we will, but it may have to wait until the spring, depending on the weather.
Oh, no, great, thank you. I really appreciate it, because I know people contact me, asking me, what are we going to do? And it's like, not building more courts, but, so this is fantastic, thank you.
Yep.
On the adoption of Resolution R-140-2023, Councilman Armington?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cotton?
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Councilman Umbreak?
Yes.
Council President Mayor?
Yes.
The resolution is adopted.
Moving on to unfinished old business, Mr. Iannacone, you wanted to discuss the new county courthouse, which
This is actually a carry forward from a few meetings ago when the county was in the process of announcing their new courthouse plans. But, I was talking a little bit with Jillian and the mayor about this a little bit. I don't know. I think it needs to be said. Should I say it, Mayor?
No.
No, I think we should.
I would do it
really,
with,
you're doing a major project in the center of town, and, we issue the permits, we do the inspections, they don't pay for anything.
Nothing.
There's no contributions at all. And it's a huge building that they're putting up.
Yeah, new courthouse.
and I know I've been talking about this for 8 years, you know, you have 26% of the properties in this town are tax exempt, about 26%, you think?
Maybe even higher.
It may be even higher. And, you know, a lot of people give us payments in lieu of taxes, i.e. the hospital gives us payment in lieu of taxes. You know, it's going to be an imposition, this construction project, and especially using our inspectors, and there's no money coming back to us. There's no financial support coming back to us. You know, who are going to be the police? Who's going to be monitoring the construction? You know, I bring it up, and I think it's worth every once in a while to kick that can down. I don't know, what's your thoughts?
I don't disagree with you. I've talked to Commissioner Shaw, Typhoon, and several other commissioners about the funding source. I've made this ask to Senator Bucco. I've made the ask to Senator Bucco's dad when he was alive, an active senator, that there's 21 counties in the state of New Jersey that because we hold the nonprofits, the shelter, the mission, things of need for people, we do a lot in this town, that the county should get a stipend from the county budgets. The answer was pretty much no. But, I mean, I think there's an argument to be made, you know, to get some senators or assembly on board to try to pass something that we get a stipend. It's almost like if we really got our energy tax receipts in full, you know, it'd be, instead of $2 million in state aid, we'd be getting $5 million. So there's a lot of things that the state does that I don't agree with. It's a tough one because the county, they're above us. You know, we don't dictate to the county. They are mandated judicially for a new courthouse. The old courthouse, historic courthouse, is absolutely not feasible for use. It's not ADA compliant. It's very difficult to get through there with a wheelchair. You've all been in the courthouse. If not, you really should go check it out because it's actually beautiful. So they need a new courthouse. There's no doubt when you see this, and I believe it's been on the internet. You'll make no mistake that it's a courthouse. It's very judicial looking. They have made some changes, small tweaks. And the good thing is, and I think it's important that we announce it now, and I think you should announce it to your constituents, that there's a hearing on November 2nd.
7 o'clock.
At 7 o'clock at the planning board. And that's when people should come out and really take a look at what they're presenting and say what they think about it, and get input as they get closer to moving forward with this project. They definitely need a new courthouse. Obviously, Morristown is a hub and for northern New Jersey for courts, for the Superior Courts. It's an asset to our town. There's no doubt about it that it brings revenue into town, law offices. There's a lot of positives to it, but it's a big building, and there's been a request if we. I don't even know if I should talk about this, but if all know North Park is working on doing stuff on North Park, coming up with some proposals. There's a contract on North Park Place. That I know, what do you call them?
The medallions.
The medallions that are on top of the Century 21. I mean, from what I understand, they're come in small pieces. They're all put together. They were interested, Sandy's, the council president's looking at me, don't say it, Mayor. They're actually thinking.
I'm just trying to picture somebody chiseling them.
No, I don't know how they're put together, but there's been what's the word, an ask by some of the commissioners that they would incorporate them into the new judicial center. Which is interesting. No.
They're historic.
Jillian's like, no. I don't know the full history of them, but, I would, gladly have another conversation with the commissioners. If somebody wants to come with me, or two people want to come with me to a commissioner meeting, we can go ask. you know,
Is there a commencement date that they want to start the project?
no, I don't have a date.
You said the planning, but this is our planning board.
If I may, Mayor,
sure.
I want to reiterate that that they're doing a courtesy review
Yeah.
at the planning board.
Planning board, their planning board.
Our planning.
Our planning board, they have to come to our
okay.
planning board for courtesy review. It's scheduled for November 2nd at 7 PM. It is via Zoom.
Right.
So anyone who'd like to participate can participate. It's virtual, so you can
Are we going to
participate.
publicize that on the website?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be an agenda item, and we'll make sure that that gets out. And I would certainly encourage you to share that with your residents as well. We really haven't been involved in the process at this point from the county. They invited us when they did the public presentation at the committee. That was really the last time we saw the same thing the public
Yeah.
saw the next day.
Yeah, they have the whole, their own committee, and believe it was posted, the next day. Same what we saw, exactly, and everybody saw it. So, yeah, I've gotten some inquiries about it. You know, it's a big building.
It's a big building.
Big building.
They're having a parking garage for them, built into that?
No.
Yeah.
The only parking is,
The Skylar lot?
I believe they're planning on using the existing parking that's already provided. There's some limited parking underneath for the judges and for prisoner transport. There's no other parking on site that's incorporated into the project.
The way I understand.
From what I understand. But
Yeah.
obviously, more will be presented at the planning
I
board.
mean, it's not going to be a jam-packed building with a lot of stuff. It's a real courthouse, almost like a federal-style courthouse. So it's not going to be like an administrative building or what that building's like, the historic courthouse, which is, there's offices, there's the sheriff in there, there's all kinds of stuff in that. This is strictly going to be judicial. It is what it is. So I would encourage, Bob.
But you know where I'm
Stefan,
coming from.
you
with
want to,
this.
yeah, absolutely.
I'm coming at like the timing of the lights
Oh,
down
listen,
South Street.
I know, I
you've got
know, I know.
The parking,
Well, I don't know if it's going to add the
they
traffic,
gotta-
because the same
well,
amount of traffic are going to the
should
courts
ask
now.
those questions. We should ask those questions because there's a lot of vacancies.
Yeah, well, those are the questions
A lot
that,
of,
that will come up in the courtesy review.
Yeah.
And we've done courtesy reviews before on the planning board. Councilman Armington is well aware of, and we had a courtesy review and got a pocket park.
Which is
So-
going away now.
No, it's not.
Is
Only
the property on the corner?
25% of it is.
How much is going away?
25%.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. So, we're doing what we can, but we don't answer to the county. And the county.
But we can ask.
We've been asking, believe me. And it's like, no. But they don't say it that way. They just kind of ignore the question.
We'll go the same night we bring the
None.
skate kids.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Council President, I just want to put on the record, if I may.
You may.
Thank you. I just want to give a little brief oversight and history of Morristown Housing Authority. As Councilman Ancona has spent a lot of time working on the housing and showing up to meetings, and I want to give a little brief prior to what we all had to deal with and what Keith Kennard inherited in 2018. MHI developments were severely distressed, and the estimates exceeded $40 million of required capital work, this is in 2018, to bring the sites up to a minimal operating standard. MHA was netting $408,000 annually from HUD to address all of its capital issues, $408,000. Given the estimated $40 million of minimum capital repairs, it would have taken 100 years to attempt to address the existing capital issues. In 2018, MHA had only $1.7 million in the bank. The money was required to address all matters related to the agency, not just capital, insurance, pensions, benefits, operational costs. Furthermore, due to the past practice in 2018, MHA was required to request approval from HUD prior to entering to any contracts. In 2018, MHA had no plan or funds to place to address any of these sites, capital issues, apartment upgrades, heater, boilers, hot water system, electrical upgrades, concrete repairs, windows, plumbing, pipes, etc. The agency audit for fiscal year ending 2018 found 10 critical issues. The agency was non-compliant in several areas, including its financial prior to Keith Kennard's arrival. Following your hire, MHA cleared all 10 critical issues and has not received any non-compliance financial audit findings for the fiscal years 2019, 2020, 2021. MHA anticipates no non-compliance financial audits for the fiscal year ending 2022. Now today, 2023, MHA identified and implemented a transformative program to address existing capital needs and bring its portfolio up to 2023 standards. MHA and its developers secured the funding necessary to do the work, HUD capital funds, loans, private equity, and tax credits, in allowing MHA to address the needs of its sites and the upgrades to the systems and operational equipment in each apartment. To date, MHA is more than halfway through addressing the capital issues as its senior 270 apartments and family 200 apartment sites through this comprehensive renovation program. The MHA has insured a total of $80 million in dedicated hard costs only for its sites, as opposed to the $40 million that was identified as needed prior to 2018. As to the financial condition of MHA, the new renovation program has allowed it to obtain $13 million to date. While expecting an additional $16 million, this is what Bob's been talking about, $16 million within the next 12 months, totaling $29 million. This is compared to the $1.7 million that was in the MHA's bank account upon Kennard's arrival. This $29 million in funds will be held in interest-bearing accounts to raise revenue to help support the MHA operations over the next 30 years. So when Bob talks about the financials, he's right. You have to stay on top of the financials. But what I want to reiterate with this statement is Keith Kennard has done a yeoman's job in that housing authority. Before Keith got here, in the years from 2010 to 2016 and 17, I had to deal with and I'm not going to name names, with a housing director that sued us, that didn't allow us to speak at meetings. It was in bad shape. And I believe that the housing authority is on the right track and has turned the right page and is doing a great job. And we're there to do whatever we can to support the MHA. And I know you feel the same way.
And I'll agree with you there too, because what you just described was the whole purpose for the RAC. And the reason why the RAC, and it's happening throughout the country. The fact is, and it's kind of sad, because public housing is basically going into private equity.
And it's all Section 8.
And it's all Section 8.
Section 8.
And you don't have the flexibility of rules with Section 8 that you do have with low and moderate income housing. So it was a sad day for a lot of the tenants when that happened, but it was also the only way you were going to get capital into the system.
Right.
And so now the housing authority is flush with cash now because of the sale of the properties. I will tell you, though, that I think that I'm going to stand by it. I think that, you got to go at this step by step. I think the clarity of the role of the Morristown Housing Authority now is the management of that voucher system. They are catching up. They got behind, even when Keith was there. They got behind on processing vouchers. They're now catching up on processing those vouchers. At one point, it was a $3.5 million deficit. It's now down to about a $1.2 million deficit. But it's getting there, and those are revenues coming in. But the important thing, I think, is to catch up with a clean financial. Because once you start working with a clean financial and you have a board that understands the financial, they can then work with it. There's really nothing there for that board to work with from a financial standpoint. The reports just aren't there. They're not there. And I think that getting those reports, I think, will take away a lot of concerns. People will be able to track money. You'll be able to see where the money came from and where the money goes. Because the mayor is right. When you go back to those RAC documents, at least 50% of the what I'll call the operations of the voucher system, which remains with the Morristown Housing Authority, 50% of that is currently being subsidized by the interest from those investments, which is now 16, should be up somewhere around 30 million. But you still have a board that has to make a decision as to what to do with the balance of that money, and what is coming down the road for the Morristown Housing Authority. I think they're on, we've got Orbag at the meetings now. I do think that they've got to create a dialogue, because I feel bad for Keith at these meetings, because Keith is not the management company. Keith is not the owner.
Mr. Kennard would have been here
And-
tonight, but he's on his
and-
way to London on his anniversary.
And the important thing is that he basically puts the CFO now in a good spot to get the job done. And I think fix things, and that's what we're trying to do here.
Council President Keith Kennard will be here at the next council meeting.
Okay, thanks. That's fantastic. And with that, I will make a motion to adjourn. Do I have?
Second.
Second? All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned at 9:59.
All right.
Got it in before 10.